Hey, gentlemen, welcome back to part 4 of Stop Going to Jail for Man, the YouTube series. In this part 4, we're going to be talking about 4 types of robbery, and then we also have a bonus. So, we're going to be talking about 5, which that last one was crazy. The first type of robbery is armed robbery. This is the most severe penalized category of robbery. The perpetrator uses or claims to possess a deadly or dangerous weapon to take products, goods, or services. An armed robbery is someone saying that they have a weapon or them physically have a weapon. Their purpose is to take something from you. That could be a product like a cell phone, some shoes, or that can be a service like, hey, um, I need you to do something for me. But an armed robbery usually involves deadly force or deadly weapons. A strong armed robbery is known as mugging or unarmed robbery, and it involves the use of force, violence, or threat of violence without the visual sight of a weapon. A perpetrator relies strictly on physical strength, bodily force, or verbal intimidation. So a strong armed robbery is typically done with using force, violence, or threats. Like they might not have a weapon, they might just intimidate you by words. And we're going to drop a podcast separate from the series, but we're just going to talk about what intimidation is, what it looks like, and what it feels like, because intimidation is something that is built within a person and they don't have to say anything. It's a built-in fear that they project to make you do something. Intimidation, we're going to explain that word. Strong armed robbery involves intimidation or force. It goes more off of strength, like maybe tying somebody up or making them scared. A home invasion is residential robbery. It's an unlawful entry into a personal residence or inhabited with the intent to commit a robbery while the occupants are present. So a home invasion, somebody is entering the crib and they ain't got no invitation. Like you didn't invite this person over, you don't know this person. This is somebody that was just watching you and they decided they wanted to go in there because they felt like they knew that you had something that they wanted. That's a home invasion. And it's done while occupants are in the home. When you get some time, I encourage you to read Proverbs chapter 1. David explains why it's so foolish for anybody to commit any of these crimes, but he breaks down that robbery. As a matter of fact, we can go ahead and read that because this one was just going to be like 4 definitions. We can go ahead and get into the carjacking in that fifth bonus one. And I can read that for you here, but I still want you to do your extended research to hear from a spiritual perspective of how foolish it is to be taking things that do not belong to you. Let's get back into that. Number 4 is carjacking, the robbery of a motor vehicle where the driver or the passenger is accompanied with force, violence, or threat of violence. Carjacking is aggressively moving somebody out of the way so you can steal their vehicle. This is considered as armed robbery. So carjacking, it can be done to the driver or the passenger with force, threats, and violence for somebody to get out of the way so you can steal their car. And the fifth one is called robbery by sudden snitching or robbery by sudden snatching. This is a term that came from Atlanta and different cities and states and probably countries or cultures and regions. Again, it's legal for them to have different words for you doing different behaviors and actions that's against the law because different states have different laws. So in Atlanta, one of theirs is robbery by sudden snatching. That's someone grabbing property directly from another person without a weapon or physical force. It's beyond the act of snatching itself. Robbery beyond sudden snatching is we're sitting here chilling and you just suddenly snatch my phone out of my hand, but you taking it like you didn't threaten me about it. Like, man, I'm finna take, like, give me your phone. It's not like an armed robbery. It's just you took it suddenly. You just suddenly got the snatching stuff. and that's a crime. Let's get into the reading from Proverbs just to get an understanding of why you should not be robbing nobody, whether it's in their face, behind their back, whether you're premeditating it or not. So I am reading from the King James Version of the Holy Bible, the book of Proverbs, chapter 1. I'm going to be reading chapter 1, verses 1 through 21. I'm going to slow down so you can understand as I read. The title is The Beginning of Knowledge. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. This is knowledge given to Solomon from his father, which was a king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equality, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning. A man of understanding will obtain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, that's Enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of your father, and do not forsake the law of your mother, for they will be a graceful ornament on your head and chains about your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie wait to shed blood. Let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol and whole, like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious possessions. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in your lots among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path, for their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread, and the sight of any bird, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They lurk secretly for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone who is greedy for gain. It takes away the lives of its owners. Wisdom calls aloud outside. She raises her voice she raises her voice in the open squares. She cries out in the chief concourses. At the opening of the gates in the city, she speaks her words. Going back up into the reading, we're just going to do a scheme and scam of what this means. You have a king that was giving his son information. He was breaking down to his son the reason why he shouldn't be a co-defendant. Come on, Jesus. The reason why he shouldn't be listening to defendants try to premeditate crimes or capital murder. He was telling them that you have to listen to the law. You have to listen to what I'm telling you as a man, and also you have to listen to your mother. And you don't want to be with people. You don't want to hang with people. You don't want to say those are my homeboys. People that are looking at the innocent. They're plotting and they're planning to shed blood of people without probable cause. You don't want to hang with them because what they're doing is setting their own lives up for death. They're setting their own lives up for failure. Those people are fools. And at some point, they're going to perish because the information that people keep trying to give them, the understanding that people are trying to give them, the discretion that people are trying to explain to them, come on, Jesus, the love that people are trying to show that they have for them, they're ignoring it. So there's going to come a point in time where they're going to do whatever they want to do, and that is going to be them putting a life sentence, come on, Jesus, on themselves in shorter conclusion. So I tried to say that with some of our jail terms. Basically, David is saying you don't want to plan or premeditate nothing foolish, because if you're wise enough, you're going to know that karma is going to come back to get you. If you are a man and you have not had a father in your life, I always tell men to read, because this is where you are going to be getting that information from, that training. Proverbs is full of information coming from mothers, fathers, kings, leaders, men, gentlemen, and they're telling their sons. Like, everybody always want to talk about, oh, Proverbs 31, Proverbs, but they're missing the point that it was a mother telling her son the type of woman he should look for, look out for. She was telling him that he shouldn't do certain things. You shouldn't pervert the law. So if you are in a relationship, if you're a married man, she was telling him, don't get drunk. Least you pervert the law. If you get drunk, you're going to forget you're in a relationship. You're going to sleep with another woman. Now you have another woman entering your covenant, and she can be a bad spirit or whatever. You just don't want to do that. This is the type of woman you want to look forward to. So, in conclusion, I encourage you to do your extended research for your own growing as into a man, into a gentleman that you want to be. Proverbs is going to give you that. And I know people always say, well, we don't have the self-help books. I've heard parents say, we ain't had no books how to raise y'all. I got 2 books right now in my closet about how to be a parent, what to expect, what they're expecting, and 3 with my holy Bible. Like, people would be saying that they be reading a word, but we'll then say, well, I don't know how to get the information. The information be right here. It's information that we don't put our time into. So this is why they're able to create laws, and they're able to say things unauthorized to you, because you're not learning the law. You're not learning the statutes. The commandments that we have in the world is the commandments that come from the word of God. When you steal, you go to jail. When you kill, you go to jail. Thou shalt not commit adultery. If somebody is married and they sleep around, it's illegal. You get divorced and you pay fines. This is all coming from the word of God. Come on, Jesus. This is not man made. This is God ordained. Come on, Jesus. I'm going to always refer a young man to understanding for beginners and the word of God. The world is going off the word of God. For beginners, when you have time, I encourage you to do your extended research, going into Proverbs, asking the Lord for understanding. I know sometimes that the words can be like crazy, or you might not understand it. Don't let that scare you from learning. Don't let not ever picking up a Bible scare you from not picking up a Bible. Go ahead and save yourself, because that's just what you have to do. That's just how it is. Every man is responsible for their own soul. It was your parents' responsibility to raise you up in the way that you should go. And I can understand if they failed, because they have created a certain type of man. Because probably that father figure was not there to teach that man how to be a man. And then that woman was there, but she was demasculating, come on, Jesus, dehumanizing that man. And now you have a jailbird. Now you have somebody that doesn't understand life. I have a strong faith that that can be changed. That's why we're here. I believe that if a man wants to change, he's going to change himself. If he wanted to, he would. No female is going to change your mind. No parent is going to. People even having kids don't even change their mind. This is all a personal preference. You listening to this podcast is a personal preference. My thoughts and my prayers for you is that you do your extended research. Don't let the world, don't let your family, don't let the media tell you what a man is. People don't even know what a man is. So how, you have to learn for yourself what a man is, what he does, how he looks, how he operates, how he walk. So then you have a choice if you want to be called by unauthorized names as a hoodlum, a baby daddy, a jailbird, a caged animal, or if you're going to live with authorized names, Mr., gentleman, sir, excuse me. Because I know that when you are allowing unauthorized terms, it's based off your behavior. So that's why it's so comfortable for you to receive it, because you are a jailbird. Like you going back and forth to jail. So you're not going to argue with nobody calling you a jailbird. But I think that you can change that to be a young man, because I read my Bible. And the only way that you get that change is you have to go to God. He's going to show you things that the world is not showing you. So you can change. Also, there's this book I'm going to leave at the end. The book I always recommend to y'all, What Women Want. I'm reading it because it teaches me what I want in a man and what to look for in a real man. And that book is also going to give you some wisdom on how to be a man. I love you.